Welcome back, guys. Today we have a new promo, and of course that means we have a ton of new cards we can make a ton of coins of. So if you're new around here and you want a better team, or even a team like mine, you're in the right place. So make sure to subscribe. Of course, drop a like down below. Remember, we're doing a Christmas giveaway. All you've got to do is send proof over on Instagram, and as usual, if you want some coins in a bit of a quicker way, well, if you guys are fed up of coming against nicks like me and foot champs who use loans and OP cards from day one,
I'm getting really sick of you! Get out now!
Then you need to head over to mitchcactus.com, where not only can you buy the cheapest and most reliable FIFA coins on the EA market, you'll find over 10,000 reviews from people who have used the services and enjoyed them in the past. So make sure to head over to mitchcactus.com and use code RECALL for 5% off. We're going to start with this filter. Of course, we win a wildcard, Netherlands, and 12,750, and we'd get Grimaldo, and then you've got another player in there as well. However, these cards have a minimum of 12.5, so we can't pick them up for that low. Now, first of all, we're looking at a new promo, which means we want to look at the new cards. If you head over to Footbin, what you will see is obviously on the top end, we've got Ronaldo, Van Dijk, and Patelas. They're pretty much irrelevant to everyone because they're so out of the budget and realistically, they're not snipeable. Then, of course, you move to more filters that we can start building up. So things like Eder Militao and Rafinha, you got Grimaldo and Llorente, and how are we going to get these in the same filter? So first of all, Grimaldo, Llorente, really simple one. You've got two quite high value cards here. We've got Llorente coming in at around 200k, and we've got Grimaldo, who I don't seem to see on here. There you go, Grimaldo coming up around the 200k mark. We've then also got Baldy as well. Now, quite simply, we can get rid of Baldy quite easily by just popping this to a minimum of, if we look at this one here, Grimaldo is 140, Llorente 218, and Baldy is 77. But the max price on that one is going to keep him in. Now, we can pop this to a minimum of 100k and then just compare price, and then we'll be looking at just the ones we want to snipe, of course, of Llorente, and of course, we'll be also looking at Grimaldo. Sorry, there's a bit of a brain fart there, but unfortunately we can't single them out entirely. So what we can do is just snipe with Baldy in the filter. So we're looking at 80k for him, and then we've not got really a massive difference between him and Grimaldo, and then of course we've got not a huge jump then again to getting yourselves over on Llorente. Now realistically, this guy's going to sell for like 84, I think, probably, and we've got a couple there around that value, seeing that they're sitting kind of at the 80 mark. Let's just check what his minimum is right now. So his minimum is 40k. So realistically, we've got a good berth of profit available in this one. If we hop this down to, I would say 75, EA tax at 80k is going to be around 4k. We can probably sell him for around, I reckon, 82, 83. So you're making around sort of 3 or 4k minimum there, which is obviously always good. We obviously want to make as much profit as possible. So over this one, I could arguably probably go 77 and sell at maybe 83. I think that's probably not an unreasonable one, so we can make a couple k there. It is just dependent, of course, of what is being listed. Now, the best time to do a filter like this is going to be when there's a lightning round, when he's going to be impacts a ton. We've missed a snipe there, but that's, I mean, a lot of the times you see me miss snipes like that is because I'm talking while doing it. I mean, we've just missed a 75 as well. So that's 2 snipes that both would have fit our filter, 3 snipes that would have fit our filter, all in a very short space of time, which means if you weren't an absolute mong like me, you would have made a ton of coins in that period. So hopefully you guys will. Now, the next easiest filter to kind of single them out, and I'll be honest, they've kind of made it difficult with the players, the nations they've chose, but we can go for forward and win a wild card, and that's going to bring us down the likes of course, you've got Llorente still in there. We're also going to get a few more cards in. So on top of Llorente, you get the likes of Dybala, you get the likes of Morgan as well. So Morgan very closely in there. We obviously want to set this to a minimum of around 100,000 coins. That's going to wade out a lot of the crappier players. So if we want to get rid of Kent and Berardi from the looks of things, we're going to need to... Now, the next one we're going to do is Serie A. So if we head over to Serie A, we've actually got Dybala and Berardi. So Dumfries obviously is in there. He's not really as valuable as the other guys. If we just have a look, I think he's going for like 25k. So what we want to do is go for forwards on this one. And this is going to leave us with Berardi and Dybala. So as we can see here, Berardi around that kind of 100k mark, and Dybala kind of around that 4 or 300k mark. So there's a bit of a berth in between them, but Dybala can be listed for this value, which means it is still going to work as a filter. We've got Berardi going for kind of 140, which means he is close to that kind of level of the Dybala filter. It's an insane card to be going for that much. I'm surprised that it's actually got this kind of value. We realistically want to be picking this up maybe, I'd say, if he's going for 140 realistically, EA tax on that is going to be about 7k. Picking him up, I'd say 125 is probably the lowest I would, or so the highest I would go. If you can get him up for 120, that is unreal. Missed that 125 there, but you can see they're being listed. I think the fact that these cards are being listed so much is going to be a saving grace with these being in filters. We can make a lot of coins very fast without really having to put a lot of effort in. I wouldn't say these filters are difficult, and I also think it gives you a lot of opportunity to make more coins, and being that there's so many up there, there's going to be so many big snipes available. I mean, if I was getting Berardi, I wouldn't think he'd be going for that much. I'd scale the market a bit. I'd see 100k and I'd list him at that. So there's going to be a lot of people with that same lazy mindset who will be doing the same thing, which means we can take advantage of it. Now we do have another option, which of course, once again, there is a bit of disparity in the pricing. If we go winter wildcard and we want to go to the Bundesliga, this one leaves us with Reus, and it also leaves us with Grimaldo. There's a big difference in the pricing there. We're going to get Reus on the cheaper end, which is just once again crazy, because Reus he used to be such a goat, and he kind of, you know, he's obviously fell off. I mean, if he was still relevant, I can imagine that card's going for like at least 200k, just because Reus is actually unbelievable in FIFA. I would love to pack that one, because although I won't spend the coins on it, it'd be nice to use him for a bit before putting him in an SBC, for example. Now he's going for 36, basically 37k. EA tax on that is basically 2k. It's not much more, so it's a pretty basic EA tax, which means if we go to like here, we're making 1,000 coins profit. So you can go down to 33, 32, and because we're not having to do ridiculous numbers here, and you can make profit quite easily, there's a good chance people are going to list him that much lower and just give you that really, really easy profit. So all they have to really do is list him 3k below the market average, and you're absolutely laughing. So with this one, it's definitely not as difficult for you to be picking up as much profit. It is just a case of doing your best, spending that little bit of time. Obviously, if we go up to the nearest price one, we just want to do a little bit of compare price. We're just looking for a 34 or below. It's not going to be coming up instantly, but we can definitely spend the time, get the card. It's not a difficult filter, as I've said, and it is one where hopefully people get Reus and think, okay, this card's worth a lot, and then they get a bit disappointed and they list it quickly. That's the mindset I think a lot of people go with when they do make the mistake of listing too low. We missed 2 cards there, so that could have been a banger. Pretty much the worst time for me to back out, basically, and someone's decided to list for 24 hours, which ruins compare pricing. So thanks to that guy, brilliant from you. You are an absolute nonce. That means we have to go down. I hate when people do that, because it just ruins compare pricing. So we'll do a little bit more on here. We'll do a little 10 count, and we'll move on to the next player. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, what we are going to do for this one is a little bit of a change. We're going to go over to striker. We're going to go for USA, and we're going to go for special. Now, for this one, that's going to bring us the absolute beauties that are Smith and Morgan, I think it is. I want to say it's Morgan. So we're going to go for special on this one, and we'll do minimum of 100k. I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. Minimum of 100k, and Ham is not relevant, but Smith and Morgan, both of them very close in pricing, and both of them beautiful in game. No 5-star skills on either of them, which is pretty disappointing. We've got 5 play styles on her and 6 on her. I think those 2 up front would be absolutely beautiful. It's definitely worth giving the go at getting, and with maybe Haran as a centre mid, I can imagine that would be beautiful. So we're looking at 250 here for our Smith, and realistically, we want to probably pick her up. I mean, EA tax on this is going to be 12,500, so you want to probably pick up any card. If you're going for 250, I would say you want to pick them up at 230. So it's not miles below. It is obviously a big snipe. If you manage to get yourself a Morgan, you're absolutely laughing, because she will be an absolute killer at this price. But make sure, if you want any more sniping filters or any more coins, to click that subscribe button and return tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one.